Well, good evening, good afternoon, morning, whenever you're listening to this. How are you doing today, Mr. Nappy
What's
Nap?
good? I'm good, man. I'm
Kind of
good.
break it off there. Yeah, let's get into it. Episode 3 of Balls Deep Fantasy Football Podcast. We're talking draft. We did a lot of mock drafts. We're going to talk a little bit about what we've been seeing in those drafts and then just little notes. Most people might have already drafted by now. We're literally drafting, I think, at the last very option you can. I think actually usually this is the weekend we would draft, but it's been pushed
Right.
out. So I know a lot of drafts have already been happening, but we're gonna go over it. So if you haven't drafted yet, maybe to take some nuggets, or you can maybe realize how bad you messed up or how well you did. So
Yeah,
Nap and
man.
Nap, how are you doing?
Man, I'm good. You already know. Like we were talking off. It's Wednesday hump day, middle of the week, middle of the grind, man. I'm glad I'm looking forward to the draft. I'll say that. We done a shit ton of mocks, right? Probably between us in the 12-man league, probably done like I don't know, a couple hundred for sure, easily. Um, shit. And, it's funny some of the things, yeah, we see some stuff that's trending. Um, you want to just hop right into it then, bro? Shit.
Yeah, so I mean, I think I wanted to look at this a little bit more, and I have it on the side here a little auto draft just continually going because
Yeah,
there's a little bit like the mock drafts they're a little hard when you're not. You said it best when you're not going against real people and all of them because the computer is going to kind of rank players. You don't really know how they're coming up with the ranking other than like what are they really using to determine the projection going forward on a player. That's what I've always wanted. It'd be nicer to kind of see these things more transparent. So you typically will get something different with the auto picks versus obviously people live picking. But maybe you can go ahead and start on kind of
yeah,
what have you
man. I
seen?
mean, one thing a shit ton more wide receivers going right, and it's almost like I don't know. Is that stating the obvious? I don't know. It's probably about like first 4 rounds, your first 48, 50 picks, half of them are going to be receivers coming off the board. Just think about it. How's the roster constructed really? Our league is a 3 receiver league, right? Um, what percentage is that of your starting roster? You got QB, running back, tight end, kicker. I guess we won't count the kicker. So I mean, I guess that makes sense, right? 50% of your starting roster is receivers when you count the quarterback, tight end, running back. So I
I
don't know. I
mean,
mean, that was. Go ahead.
I would say we have three receivers. You have a flex, so like we have three receiver spots, and we also have a flex. So you can have like four wide receivers out there on your team,
Yeah.
at least in our league. So it's good. Like it definitely made wide receivers, like I said, more in demand, especially because running backs are kind of like quarterbacks now, where we're seeing, the top 3 to 5 cream of the
After that
crop.
tier.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's a hard drop off, and so you basically that's the way I think a lot of people are starting to look at these drafts. It's if you with your first round pick, you're either going for that one out of the four running backs that are just a workhorse, or the one out of the four quarterbacks, same thing. And basically, other than that, it's receivers. I mean, a lot of places um, it has Jefferson going first overall, which I thought was a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
surprising.
Jefferson, Jamar Chase, right, and both. I mean, I would go with like what Who likes to do, the explosive offense. So I'd probably pick Bills. I mean, I'm sorry, Bengals over the Vikings when we're speaking. What you're saying, Jefferson over Chase. Shit, let's dive into it, man. So like the first round out of a shit ton of these mocks, and remember, this is a perspective of like 12 man PPR. We're drafting from like as if we had that middle of the sweet spot in each round, that fifth, sixth, or seventh um, slot, right? I mean, because you're gonna do what you want to do if you're at the beginning of the snake or at the tail end of the snake with those back to backs, right? So, anyways, this first round, I really like getting Kupp, man. You know what I mean? I think Kupp's dropping, bro. Like going either out of the first round or at the end, and I know we worried about the injury and what, but all I gotta say is Matt Stafford's back, and the only thing more pure than that white connection is I don't know. White people's noses to cocaine in Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing more pure than what we see in Stafford to Cooper Cup. What you think?
Was I mean beyond its injury, it just seemed like the whole Rams offense wasn't clicking as well as it
Oh,
was when they won the Super Bowl. I mean,
for sure,
so
for sure.
Cooper Cup is going to get his points because he's a great athlete and a great wide receiver, and Matt Stafford
Yeah.
can really sling it. So he's going to have a few plays there, but I think that's the worry I would have. I mean, when I think about that, and I've seen in our mock drafts, I was never hesitant of Cup
So you
about.
think Cup is now in the territory of a brand name? not to fall for. Huh?
I'm scared
You
now.
drafted up
I'm
just
on
for the
because
name. Yeah.
I know I drafted him like the year that it was before he became a household name, and so I got him really low, and so I got that great value pick. I just happened to hit the jackpot there. I think that was when I won actually. Again, I had a late round pick be really strong in the team, but Kupp, I just think the quarterback there, and it's you hear a lot of rumors about like the team's trying to deal Stafford away. So are they not having faith in him, or what's going on there? Or like it seems like
A
they
lot of it
got
was I know the contract, the cap space. But like you say, man, the Rams, it's a really young team. Like outside of Aaron Donald, and you know, there's not many other superstars, right? Like you say, Stafford's out of his prime, and yeah, I guess I can see it your way too. How Kupp is almost out. The other LA team, I think the no-brainer's Ekeler, bro. Like Eckler's still a hero running back in my eyes. And I'd say if we had to reach, if you're in that fifth, sixth, or seventh slot, all the receivers are gone. Maybe Travis Kelce already got taken, and you have to reach for the running back. I'm all for King Henry, believing in him still.
yeah. I think yeah. I'm here. The
Sorry.
no Derrick Henry is actually so when we did our mock draft, you picked what like I think 11 or 12. Did you have 12? I think you did have 12. You went running back, and I think you scooped up Derrick Henry in the second round. And even on this auto pick, I'm seeing Derrick Henry picked up in the second round early in a snake draft. So he went fourth pick in the second round. So it's like I said, some auto pick is kind of crap, but I think it's a decent like ballpark to kind of see where players are going to go. And a lot of people do just look at the rankings and pick based on that. But I think the next level stuff is when you're thinking about what's the quarterback situation, what's the coaching situation aside from just the player, and that's the part where it's like how much of that is factored into these auto picks and these rankings is kind of what I'm thinking.
I'll tell you real quick. I was tripping just now. I had this stopwatch on a different tab. I didn't see it, and something was beeping in my headphone, bro. I had no idea what it was. I thought it was a low battery or something, so I had my shit plugged in.
No worries.
But yeah, my bad. Yeah, second round. In the second round, what I was seeing, I guess, is and someone mentioned this in the group chat earlier that Josh Jacobs, Jonathan Taylor limbo. You know what I'm saying? Like it's almost like them boys got what's that in Endgame in Avengers again, where they got half of the world got spoofed, or I forgot what they called it, blipped or some shit, where they turn into sand. Yeah. That's what I feel like here. Like these boys are in limbo. Josh Jacobs there, but he ain't practicing. I think Jonathan Taylor finally had a sighting, in practice and stuff. But both are really like, Jacobs is still holding out. My bad. But
which is interesting. I'm actually very surprised you see a lot of
value in that. Come week one, these boys gonna play, bro. So if they dropping now because of the media hype and they're not here yet, and the Colts got to move on. They got to plug someone else in, learn the playbook. Oh, the Raiders got to keep going.
And that's the thing. I don't think they do. The teams have all the leverage in the situation, so I'm surprised to see what that.
No one's an idiot. No one's gonna relearn that lesson that Le'Veon Bell had to learn. Right, sitting out a year ain't worth it. Missing all those game checks.
Yeah. I mean, it's become
after that.
From what I understand, it's become pretty. They tend to lose a lot of money when they're sitting out like this until the season. So they're just trying to,
If I was a GM, right, it's like
it seems silly.
Sit your ass at home, bro. Yeah, it's like sit your ass at home. We don't want you to get hurt anyway. Like go ahead, relax. Just don't go jet skiing. Like
yeah, it's true. I mean, unless they come in like out of shape, but
yeah.
But I mean, if they're wanting a different team or a different deal, it's in their best interest to come in shape and perform well. But yeah, it's kind of it's. I haven't really been following it too much. I just because every time I hear it, I'm like, well, it's going to end one or two ways. Like either they play this season for the team or they don't play.
And I think they're both going to play, and that's why I say, hey, that's value there, bro.
Yeah, I think Le'Veon Bell has come out, and he's now said like he regrets it and he wouldn't do it again.
Himself. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so
I'll tell you, if you go in the receiver route, the no-brainer there is either Brown, bro. Not UPS, but AJ or Amon Ra, right? You going two explosive offenses in the Eagles, top to bottom foundation from the O-line down to the playmakers. Wide receiver 1, Batman. Wide receiver 2, Batman. You know how they calling them all that down there. And then Detroit, obviously, right? Don't want to rehash a lot of stuff we always say about them, but hey, golf or not, right? Rookie running back from Alabama, Jahmyr Gibbs or not, right? Amon Ra's gonna get it, bro. He's gonna get it. So, and then I played around. I see if you're gonna reach here in the second round, not much you would call reach, but I'd like to put Davante Adams, bro, over Garrett Wilson, over Chris Olave, the two Ohio State sophomores. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Jimmy G believer, bro. I think he's going to deliver the ball on point way more than Derek Carr did to Davante Adams. That's why I like them over Garrett Wilson with an aging Rodgers, who's still going to ball in my book.
Yeah, you mentioned Garrett Wilson. It's funny. I actually had him pulled up and I was looking at it because I keep seeing him go. Whether it's, I think in our league, he's definitely in someone's keeper. I think Cervenka can have a keeper on Garrett Wilson, but I think when we drafted, he might have fallen to the third round and a lot of auto picks. And again, with this one, I'm seeing him go second round, fifth pick within that second round. And when
all right.
And I'm just like, I don't know. I like I said, I was kind of checked out last season.
Drafts, he going higher than what I'm seeing. Yeah, I feel that.
But
I like
when I look at it, going a little deeper to your point, it's like, so how did he do in 2022? He finished as a 21 overall wide receiver in a standard league, 100 overall.
Fucking nasty, bro.
But he really came on towards the end, though.
Off at the rookie of the year. Yeah. For sure. And that had to do with maybe the revolving door, the quarterback play, right? You have Flacco Wacka out there at first, Joe Flacco, winning the Super Bowl, throwing in bombs to Jacoby Jones. Jacoby Jones returning punts for touchdowns and shit. Anyways, yeah, he did have a hot end to it. If we stay on the receiver route, bro, going into round 3, no matter what strategy you are, RB hero or running back zero, I think the no-brainer here is Calvin Ridley, man. And another one of those, hey, like you said earlier, is he going to show up in shape, been out a year? Players get time off, they're going to show back up what? I mean, this guy had a whole year off to heal, and to think about the bad things he did via gambling. But I think he's going to ball, bro. Got Trevor Lawrence there throwing the ball.
I'm trying to see where this had him ranked in.
Okay, yeah. While you check that, I will mention also in the third round what I liked to do or simulated a lot in these mock drafts was reach for another receiver, and I really loved getting Amari Cooper, man, especially over guys like DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, and Jeudy over at the Broncos. Starting with the most recent ones, Jeudy, you already know I'm a Russell hater. Sean Payton, great, it's gonna be great, awesome. Russell's still Russell, bro. He ain't gonna get fixed. That boy broken, dog. Pandora don't go back in the box, dog.
You think so? You don't think Russell Wilson's gonna?
He's got other battles, bro, than on the gridiron. He's battling a weekend right now. The father of the boy that he shares with Sierra. That's from Sierra's relationship with the other. Not weekend. I'm sorry. Whoever the rapper is, it might be. But I think he was talking shit about Russell, being such a good boy and stuff like that. Did you see that?
I haven't heard that, but I've heard.
Oh well, beef. Russell, he responded with a picture of him walking with the guy's kid. Like, hey, it's the best part of my day right here. Pretty much saying like, I'm taking care of your son, bro. Like,
thanks. So in terms of actually, I was looking around for Calvin Ridley to be a little higher and Amari Cooper. So this has Amari Cooper going in the 4th round, and then Calvin Ridley going right behind him. So talking 4.5 and 4.7. So do you think that's too low for these players, and you would go higher with these guys if because you're talking 3rd round?
Yeah.
And it's funny, they're pretty much like in the middle of the pack too. Yeah, when you talk about snake draft, like they're pick 5 and 7, so they're right there, kind of interchangeably. Yeah. So it's kind of funny how you mentioned both those guys.
Yeah, bro. That's what I'm saying. They're right there in the pack, and like I said, I take Ridley over that batch of dudes, especially you talking about Keenan Allen, who's been reliable for quite some time, and either that or the fact that Mike Williams can't step up, so that's why Keenan Allen's still around making plays. But I think it's about to shift, and like I say, Calvin Ridley's just scratching the surface, really, dog.
So I feel like even given the chance, if you had the pick and you have Pat Mahomes sit in front of you, and you're at the tail end of the, let's say you're 2nd round, 3rd pick. That's where Pat Mahomes went here. And I think anyway, like any of these kind of top tier quarterbacks that are going in
3rd round for sure, man. Mahomes,
2nd or 3rd.
Mahomes is
Mahomes.
I will say Mahomes is the only motherfucking quarterback you would ever take in the 2nd round. But yeah, I'd allow it, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so like to put it still seems really high to put a pick on any of these quarterbacks like so high, except maybe Mahomes because they really do like on every play put the ball in his hand, and just the offensive like they're constantly going for explosive plays, 20 yards or more. Not that
He's scoring more
not
and
that the Eagles
consistently.
aren't. Yeah, not that the Eagles and the Bills aren't. They're definitely doing that, but it just feels like on every single play, that's kind of what the Chiefs are looking to do. I mean, I don't know. It does seem. I haven't. I wish you can easily compare two players with the interface here on Sleeper, but you can't
Yeah.
because they're all
That's all
great.
right. We'll do it on the next show. We'll do a dissection of those two. I mean, that's very interesting because you're talking about the two Super Bowl quarterbacks, right? Pat and
Yeah, I mean,
Mahomes.
like I'm just looking at Josh Allen, for example, for like he finished number two, and whether it's standard or PPR, it's like 26, 27, 28 kind of point, and I don't think Mahomes is much different, to be quite honest with you. Yeah, it's very similar. So it's like, you know, and what how's Jalen Hurts?
Jalen Hurts is
So
beast, man, and he
that's what I'm saying. They're all
yeah.
quite similar. They're all floating around like from the
Bro,
25 and on the
Jalen,
high end
Josh Allen,
28s.
bro, they run this shit. It's kind of like it's like the old school Pop Warner offense, the single wing offense. They call it the six. Some people call it the six back. So any person that's eligible to carry the ball is gonna, and because of that, these motherfuckers getting all these points. They stacking up. It's beyond the dual threat term now. Yeah, I don't know, man.
So yeah, I
But
think between an interesting thing just looking at them between Mahomes, Allen, Hurts, Burrow, and Jackson, they're all floating around very similar points. So to me, it doesn't make a lot of sense to grab Mahomes so high, and
I
to
see,
that
I
point,
see.
and
Yeah,
like I'm maybe
yeah.
we're kind of proving our own selves wrong here because I'm sitting here like it
No,
feels
no,
like
I like that though. To where one end of the spectrum, I mean, I'm fine with taking Pat in the second round. Your end of the spectrum, why? Why do we do that when you got these next two or three quarterbacks in, the next tier right below that are gonna get you that same production?
I mean, I'm talking like it's like a point or two off. So it's not
hmm
substantial enough. So if you feel like I can get at the tight end's one where I feel like there's a big drop off. Like how many tight ends are really
That's what I
competing with
would
Travis
rather reach
Kelsey?
for, right? And which is one of the draft strategies we touched on later. Yeah. I feel you, man. We'll get yeah. Hey, let's close it
Yeah,
up with
yeah.
these
Sorry.
last two rounds. I mean, no, that's cool, man. I did really like I said, we did a shit ton of mock drafts. Kind of just took notes on the first 5 rounds, see some trends or see what I would do at least. You know what I mean? And so far I like it. Some back and forth with you and I, man. Fourth round though, I don't know. This one should be. I don't think anything controversial here, right? I like Najee Harris, man, and I don't know if he's falling into the fourth in all these mock drafts or just I'm mocking with idiots. But if you could look for that one, Najee
This
Harris, man,
he
he's
in
going,
this
man.
one he's going in the third round. So kind of
Okay,
computer
okay.
here again, just to remind people who are listening. I'm kind of comparing
So,
these our results to what the computer has.
so Najee, he's due for a bounce back, bro. He's just due for it, and he didn't really have that bad of a year last year. He had a strong playoff season. He had a strong push to the playoff season, so that means like weeks what 9, 10, 11 before your playoff start. It's just that he had such a slow start, and that's all we remember. Some of us probably got burned by that slow start because he was supposed to be the hero RB. He was
Yeah,
drafted
I
as
mean, I don't know, man. Like, unless I have so the way I look at it is like, if I have a workhorse players, I want them in like pushing 20 points, and then
and he was
like,
not doing that, bro.
well,
He did
yeah,
have two 20-point
but
games, and yeah.
but to that point, like he didn't do bad. Like your point, he was like, I mean, never. I don't see a single game here where he's under 10 points. If I'm getting 10 from a player, I'm like bare minimum. If I can get 10 from everyone, that you're
And I
pretty
think
good
he was just a
chance.
victim of his own stock, right? Just getting drafted a little too high. Just that year,
And
there
that's what
weren't
Kyle had
too
even
many
said,
committees.
anecdotally.
Yeah.
Anecdotally.
So
But yeah, they're talking like 18, 16, 14, 13. Lowest game was like 11 points. Highest game, 18. So yeah, there's not.
hey, that being said, bro, I would still take. I mean, b- what I'm trying to wrap this up in a bow with is Najee due for a to perform the same, if not outperform these numbers, is what I'm trying to say, right? And even with all that hype and all that ceiling that I'm hyping up, I will still take Dameon Pierce on a shitty Texans team over Najee Harris. I would still take Dameon Pierce over a Aaron Jones of the Green Bay Packers, who looks like his backfield mate, Jordan Love, looking pretty crisp out there. looking like he gonna ball. Anyways, yeah. That was kind of my hot take, I guess, for the 4th round. If Pierce is falling there, I might be wrong, but I would take Pierce, earlier than these other cats, man. If that means taking him in the 3rd round, I would fucking do it over Najee, over Aaron, Um, and then, keeping with the Steelers theme, Deontay Johnson, bro, I think he's gonna have a comeback. I want to take advantage of his slide this year. If he's still there, open in the 5th round, I wouldn't mind getting him, man. Everyone's thinking it's Pickens.
Your Texans might be showing like your Texans fandom here because Dameon Pierce is like ranked in the 5th round here, which would be
round, yeah. And that's what I'm saying. I would reach. I might.
Yeah, that's if you could get him in the 5th round, that's great.
Though. Yeah, that little bias, huh? Yeah,
well, I mean, again, you pay maybe closer attention to the team and maybe more impulse. Most people weren't really paying attention to the Texans. Dameon Pierce had a great year, and I know he won like angry run. Like he definitely got some shine for like how well he did, even on a bad performing team. But
shine the Texans got last year.
Yeah. So I mean, I think he's not a complete sleeper or unknown commodity for sure, but I don't think Texans fans are probably definitely maybe ranking him a little higher, but that's not bad. Again, so like before we move on, like which maybe name off like 3 or 4 players that you are reaching for, given the opportunity, like that you won't have a problem for.
In this round, or what you mean?
Just in general, if like like, hey, this is a player. Like, let's say we're in the 1st round. Is there a quarterback or any of the? I guess what I was trying to get to earlier is there any quarterback you would reach for? Would you ever reach for a quarterback, or would it have to be like the quarterback would have to fall in my lap? Like I'm in the 2nd round. I've got the 3rd pick in the 2nd round.
No. Mahomes would be the only one I would reach for, and that would be the 2nd round. If there were a run on quarterbacks, definitely dual threat, man. I mean, it's just we're in that kind of fantasy league now. There's plenty of them, right?
And who are the top 2 running backs in your mind right now?
Well, RB 1 and 2.
Yeah, or just like in general, like if one or the other.
To reach.
Yeah.
Man, 2 guys that are being undervalued right now, I think is what you're trying to ask, right? Undervalued by most, and who I really want to see shine. That's a tough one, man. But I'm thinking Alvin Kamara, but that might be an obvious one, right? I mean, he's suspended 3 weeks. That's why he's kind of dropping in drafts here. I think he's going outside the 6th round, but it's just a 3-week absence, bro. Like, if you can't survive without him being gone 3 weeks, I think the risk outweighs, or the reward outweighs the risk as far as a reward in a running back that's rested. Hopefully a running back that's in a rejuvenated offense. I mean, I don't like Derek Carr, but a motherfucker can throw it at least a flat and a screen. He's known for screens at Fresno State, so hopefully Kamara is set up. But yeah, I would say Alvin. Alvin's one I would reach for, man. Yeah.
Cool. Well, let's move it on because we have other things to talk about. So
Deontay Foreman would probably be the other. That's more of a late sleeper, so that's a different segment.
He's in Chicago, right?
Yeah. Just because of that fact, right? I don't think anyone's gonna emerge there. But hey, I wanted to mention the 5th round. Kind of the final part of this segment, just because finally a little tight end love. You know what I'm saying? I think find hella value here if you can get TJ Hockenson. So I don't know if you can. Beans, it look like you've been pretty much testing out each of my theories here, whether it's on point or accurate, or if I'm rating them too high than what the average.
It feels like he would be. That's probably a little higher, but like again, I think sometimes you have.
I'd get him in the 5th. Yeah, man.
Where do you land?
And that's not more of a reach. I have another tight end. Like I said, that's why I'm excited about this round. I get to talk about probably my favorite position fantasy, the tight end. Just because that's always the cool one when you can find that sleeper, right? I still remember Julius Thomas so many years ago. Anyways, yeah. You find it?
No, where is this?
Well, I would take my reach though would be Kittle. I still have faith in Kittle. I know he's been missing a lot of games. Last year was no exception, but
Kittle 4th round
over TJ Hockenson, Kittle over Dallas Goedert, Kittle over Darren Waller.
TJ Hockenson also 4th round. So Kittle and Hockenson both 4th round. Kittle actually Hockenson before Kittle. Hockenson 4th round 6th pick. Kittle 4th round 10th pick. So towards the back half of the 4th round. Okay. Which that's
going first, huh?
Yeah. Is that the first tight end off the board? No, the first tight end was Kelsey. I think that was number 2.
Yeah. It's probably Kelsey, Mark Andrews.
Oh yeah, Kelsey, Mark Andrews, Hockenson, Kittle.
while we're on the subject of tight ends, when we close this one out, Kyle Pitts, I'm not touching, bro. I'm not touching. I'm not failing for it. It's fool's gold. Motherfucker looks great. Extreme athlete. But, yeah,
And he's
that's it, man.
he's marked
Underwear
in
Olympics, bro.
the sixth round, right behind Goddard, and I'm definitely taking Goddard over Pitts if those are my options at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I think another Texans fan kind of moment showing. Dalton Schultz, Houston Texans. Keep hitting the mic here. This is what's that? The 9th round.
I'm surprised I forgot to mention Dalton.
Like that to me, I feel like is if you're a Texan fan, that's probably what you're thinking. Like what a sleeper tight end. Everyone's expecting.
Spot too, bro.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. Everyone's expecting tight ends to get love, especially in this offense.
Well, and just like he was. I mean, again, completely different offense and new team, but he was a productive member of the Cowboys. You know.
Yeah, no, hell yeah. Shit.
So.
Well, right. Man, I see you already got the ticker on. What we got next? Running back versus wide receiver draft strategy here, man. I'm not gonna lie, we're gonna have to skip the 2022 bus.
Okay.
I'm not prepared. I'm sorry, but as far as this strategy, man, what I was trying to get out of it was these theories that people have came up with over the years based off theirs, which I think you and I are developing. Soon we'll have our own little fucking hypotheses and whatever the fuck they're called. What are those called? Whenever you're writing something, not dissertations, but like if you're studying for your masters or whatever, and they call it a thesis.
A thesis.
As we have our theses on these draft preparation and strategies. I wanted to touch on. I mean, which one that you've heard of? I know everyone's heard of the zero running back one, right? Do you have any other wacky ones you've come across?
What the hell is that?
The zero running back theory, I have 4 here listed. I wanted to touch real quick, but or just kind of dive into the logic or the history of it. Zero RB was pretty much came about when you're at the back end of the snake draft, and all the RBs are gone. It's a 12, 14, 16 man league, and you're not getting that hero running back. You know what I mean? You're not getting that stud. So the theory is you go back to back receiver, and they get another receiver. You don't pick a running back until maybe round 7 after you've already filled out your other starters. 3 receivers, a tight end, possibly the quarterback, and then maybe you're going running back or another depth receiver before running backs. That's 6th or 7th. Your 6th or 7th pick. You're not picking a running back till then. That's fucking wild, dude.
That is, I mean, it's kind of reminiscent to I think a strategy. I don't know if I tried it last year or the year before, but it was trying to go after try to play it more like the NFL tries to do, and just best player available. Like even if I have 2 awesome quarterbacks, I'm going to take them both, knowing I'm going to deal one away. So trying to, instead of pick my final team, just pick the most valuable pieces I can when I have my moment to pick. And I know I can knock on your door for a trade. That there's definitely people. I kind of like that one too. If you don't feel like if you're not comfortable with reaching, I think that's a good option to go with as well.
So stack up these elite receiver ones, and then deal one of these for a Charizard running back later, or
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So people are gonna want that.
The 3 legendary birds, and then trade them off later.
I mean, especially honestly, in our league, it's kind of I feel like everyone should be doing that, especially with wide receivers, because of how many positions and everywhere you can use them. And even if you're not running 4 wide receivers, they're really great for filling a bye week hole. It makes it more flexible in that regard. So it's the more I keep talking about our rules, the more I need to be grabbing every single wide receiver I can with this draft. Even though you can, there's quality everywhere. But like you said, if you have
it. And you mentioned the kicker there, the trading aspect of it, right? That kind of throws all these type of draft strategies out the window. Or if you're knowing you're going to go into the season with one of those type of tendencies, you're going to trade a lot, or you're going to, obviously everyone's going to be a waiver wire, scour the waiver wire week to week, but knowing how you're going to act and operate in the season, determine how you want to.
Actually, as the year I won our championship, because I remember I don't like taking players on the same team because it's diversify your portfolio. Otherwise, if the team does bad, you're going to go down. So it's highs, lows. So I don't like doing that, but I'll do it in the draft knowing I can deal them away. So I took Cooper Kupp. I remember that one year, and I also came back and got Matt Stafford, and I ended up trading him to you. And so I didn't really need a quarterback that high, but I was like, hey, Matt Stafford, I feel like he's going to have a good season with Kupp. He's rejuvenated, all that. So anyway, yeah, I've done it before. I like to mix and match. So I don't go into the draft and just say I'm going to just go every single round. I kind of like play how the round's going.
Hell yeah, man! The ticker, can you put it back up one?
Yeah,
RB receiver strategy. That's my bad, man. I don't know why. I said we were gonna skip top bust. My bad. Shit.
Sorry.
Nah, that's cool, man. All right. Well, hey, that's very interesting. How you say you didn't even know that name was the zero RB strategy, and that's probably the one you use to kind of help you leverage and win.
Yeah,
your championship, or at least from the collect assets and then trade standpoint. The one that I like, or the one that I think I've won a couple championships with, you know what I'm saying? The wide receiver 2 theory. And I was trying to look up some actual stats that backed up this theory. Didn't find many, but apparently this is like you looking at all NFL offenses and drafting their wide receiver 2 as your wide receiver 1. Does that make sense? So
no.
like, so any let's go Cincinnati Bengals is easy. Their wide receiver 1 is Jamar Chase. Obviously everybody wants him. If you use the wide receiver 2 theory, you're looking at every NFL team's wide receiver 2 and seeing, man, is that motherfucker gonna perform or outperform the guy in front of him, the wide receiver 1? And if so, he's obviously gonna get you fantasy points. So back to the Bengals. Jamar Chase, you got. Who's wide receiver 2 on the Bengals? T. Higgins. You feel me? So it's almost like, hey, how close is he going to get to in performing for Jamar Chase? Not saying you're going to pick T. Higgins where Jamar Chase is getting selected, but it's that theory of, can I stack my fantasy team with NFL wide receiver 2s? And out of that group of fuckers, I'm hoping they all.
Well, it's kind of like what you said in, I think, one of the earlier episodes. We've only really done 3. But you're more investing into the offense versus like the specific player. I mean, so, you could go. You could. I mean, you could. Is that, or is it more like I'm looking for the second best player on that team, or you're just like saying, I know the wide receiver 2 is still going to get his fair share of the throws his way.
Mm-hmm. And the key word in winning in fantasy, value, right? And that's why I'm saying this is like you're trying to roll the dice on these wide receiver 2s, figuring out are they going to beat that wide receiver 1 guy. Another one is Detroit Lions, right? I think the one is Amon Ross St. Brown we talked about earlier. Stud. I think he's absolute beast. The second receiver is Jameson Williams, I believe, who came out of Alabama, started the year late last year with the injury, got off IR, started playing. We saw glimpses of lightning in a bottle, and that's another one I'd roll with, him outperforming or performing just as well, as Amon Ross St. Brown. And Amon St. Brown, we said, is going to what, round 2 or 3 versus Jameson Williams. I'm gonna say round 7. Last one I'll say is and this is an extreme example, Minnesota Vikings. We already know Justin Jefferson, right? Fucking 1 or 2 overall pick. Again, I'm not saying the theory is telling you to draft the Vikings' second wide receiver, where Justin Jefferson is saying it's just more, hey, is he gonna score 7 touchdowns? Is he going to get impact? Is Jefferson going to help this kid's game? The wide receiver 2 for Minnesota, who's Addison. That's kind of that theory there. And what that does, doing that theory, is what? You draft wide receivers later, saving your early rounds for running back, quarterback, tight end. Let you stack maybe. You want Mahomes and Kelsey. You might be able to do that. You want Mark Andrews and then Lamar Jackson. You can kind of do that. I don't know. That's crazy.
Yeah,
one example I did find. Oh, hey, my bad.
No, I just keep saying, like, it is funny how I don't know if I've been in mock drafts that both are more like similar to our rules in other or standard leagues, but the wide receivers, this is probably the first draft I've seen so many wide receivers go ahead of running backs, because like we're not really getting running backs until like the 5th pick, and it's about like Austin Ekeler. Or no, this one is actually I'd say that, but this one actually had Christian McCaffrey go number 1 overall. But that's the first time I've seen him go number 1 overall. Would you take Christian McCaffrey if you had the number 1 pick of the draft? Who are you taking?
Man, that's a great question, bro. Fuck, man, you put me on the spot like that, dog.
It is hard, right? Because we just got done saying you can.
I might be trolling you, bro. I might be trolling you. I'll take Kelsey with the first pick, bro.
Really?
I would take Kelsey with the first pick. Yeah.
And is that just because you think there's just not a tight end that compares? There's a big drop off in that?
Yeah, as far as tight end talent and then opportunity and then obviously supporting cast. Some people might fit that narrative the other way. Say too many mouths to feed. Um, he's been hot every year to year to year. Eventually they're gonna have to slow down. This is gonna be the year. I'm gonna roll the positive way, and I'm gonna say Kelsey's gonna keep eating. God, didn't he have multiple like 3 touchdown games? At least three touchdown games or something. Motherfucking putting up basketball stats, man. Yes.
Yeah,
But just to not go too out the norm, I would still pick a running back with RB1, and
that's what I'm saying.
it's not.
My first round pick. If I can, I'm taking one of those like 3 or 4
I don't
running
want the
backs.
first pick, bro. Like, I don't want the first round pick. I don't want to make that decision. But yeah, it's only going to come down to McCaffrey or Ekeler. You know what I mean? At that point, so now we back to that. Am I getting the Niners or the Chargers? So and I'm probably leaning. I'm probably leaning McCaffrey.
Yeah, and I
I'm
took.
gonna fall for that brand name one more time.
Yeah, it's I got a good question here after this one. Not really a question, but so I took Bijan Robinson first round with the thought of like I just wanted one of like the top ranked running backs, and that's just where I was. And here it's about I think I was picking 7 or 8, which is exactly where it has the auto draft here. What has Bijan Robinson going? Bijan Robinson, and then Saquon Barkley. Actually, I would take Saquon over Bijan just because you have a little bit, what's a little there. It's really hard to put so much hype on a rookie. I like taking the rookie running backs more like 3rd round, 4th round, but it's interesting that he's kind of being ranked amongst like the kind of cream of the crop RBs in the league, and we've never seen him play. I mean,
dude.
Even though he did great in
so
Texas.
Hype on his fucking clips of him running like the Texas route. And
yeah,
his fucking linebackers in coverage. Like, oh my god, look at him taking ankles and shit. Like,
So I think, and then we saw Will. He kind of reached for Nick Chubb. He was like pick number 6. He was a little ahead of me. And Nick Chubb here is like at the tail end of the first round. So still in the first round, but Nick Chubb was one that you might reach for. Again, if you're on the premium of wanting a running back.
And you're gonna have to, exactly, yeah. If you're in that wide receiver 2 theory, that means. Yeah, bro. You're gonna be reaching for other guys, so it's almost counterintuitive at that point.
And so, you had it. We're gonna kind of gloss over this other top bust, but I think I have a little question that can go in that theme.
Yeah, what's up?
What name brands are you staying away from this year? We get burned by name brands. What are name brands that you don't want to touch, no matter what, even if they fall on your lap at a given round?
Yeah, man. I think last year we saw the beginning of the end for Lamar Jackson. I'm sure he's healthy, blah blah, and I don't know. I think the Ravens are ready to change the shift in overall philosophy. I'm sure. Are they going?
You think so? I thought they just squashed a whole bunch of beef and tried to get him back in the whole camp, and it seemed like the Kumbaya were going to go forward. So. Interesting, you would say such a thing.
I don't think it's a long-term deal, though. Every Band-Aid, is temporary, right? And this one is, if Lamar can hold up and be healthy, yeah, he's good. But just like, I think Lamar itself, the man, the myth, the legend, going to break down, whether that means missing more games, not necessarily injury, but defense is catching up, right? They always catch up.
I mean, you saw how quickly they got over Joe Flacco. And Joe Flacco won him a Super Bowl.
Yeah, man. So it's just, I think it's, how many are they going to keep not wasting, but are they going to keep gearing drafts and schemes towards this type of, like I mentioned earlier, 6-ball offense? You know what I mean? This running quarterback type deal. That's one name brand. It might be too early, but I'm staying away from him. You go to quarterback or you go to running back. I still think Jonathan Taylor got it, man. You know what I mean? He's still young. But one guy we've been depending on year after year, it's finally time to call it quits now. All I could think of was Kamara, and I was just blowing his dick like a couple segments ago, But
yeah, I was
he's another one where it's like, I mean, I guess we'll see if he keeps getting fed the balls. I think he's got just these brand names, man. We've been dependent on, and the only reason you would have him now is because he's getting drafted outside of where he used to be. I mean, this guy was perennial, like first round, right? I remember taking him 1 year, 3rd overall or something like that, and that's what I got there. As far as receiver, what you think? You got any hot receiver names?
I mean,
I got one, but I think it might be obvious,
Well, the one that I would be cautioned against would be Adam Thielen. I had him last year, and I think the years of Adam Thielen, like the high 20s are over.
Yeah.
But then you go ahead and you're like, well, he's on a new team. Does he have new life? He's going to be maybe a primary target for this rookie quarterback, but he's going to have a rookie quarterback. So still, I don't think he's going to catch the form that he once had with the Vikings, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. So that's when I'm probably.
Some people saying Mike Evans here, right? No Brady. Baker Mayfield's bitch ass just got named the starter.
Yeah, I saw that.
I guess that means the Bucks tanking this year. I don't know, man. Yeah, Hopkins, right? I think Hopkins is the obvious one, and yeah, he got a chip on his shoulder. He's coming back.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I was surprised Will took him so
Andre
high.
Johnson, he had a chip too, and age, man. Father time is undefeated.
Well, he's not even that old. I mean, he's like 30 maybe, right?
Fuck it, it's them PEDs. The boy should.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. Yeah,
enhancements.
He just kind of like a weird vibe, not necessarily like cancer to a locker room, but it's not. I don't know. There's a reason why Arizona didn't want him.
Shit.
Yeah.
For sure.
Brandon Cooks. That's one like that I'm probably staying away from. I don't know. I could see him having a good season in Dallas, used effectively. I'm just cruising real quick.
Oh, wow. Let's see here.
Mike Evans is a good one though.
Yeah.
It's
not many, I mean, to be a brand name, right? Is what somebody's been highly dependable for the last 3 to 5 seasons,
and then Dalvin Cook on the Jets, and people are thinking
Tyler Lockett. I don't think he's a brand name. Tyler Lockett, I think, still gonna be dependable, still gonna be there balling for you. You know what I'm saying? One of them loyal motherfuckers ain't gonna leave you. You know what I'm saying? Shit. Deebo Samuel. Did he ball out long enough to be a brand name? I mean, he had a hot 2 years, right? And I don't think he's going to ever
projected to go in the 3rd round.
He's been reaching. Yeah. And, I think so I guess I would say he's on a decline. Yeah, I would say he's a brand name not to trust. Debo's going to probably, and that might be a hot take, I guess, some areas, but I don't know. DK Metcalf, he's been consistent now a couple years. I still think he's still gonna ball, So I think we had some pretty good names there, bro. At Mike Evans, that what were we thinking? Alvin Kamara, Lamar Jackson. I don't know. We'll see. I say this shit and watch me next weekend. I'm gonna still draft his ass fucking 3rd round.
I feel like Cortland Sutton is a player that everyone has ranked high, but has never really done anything in terms of fantasy production. I know he's had injuries. I think I drafted him in his rookie year, and he had an injury. But I'm always surprised that his name comes up more and more. But I think even here,
still a young guy a bit, huh? I mean, motherfucker, probably not even 25. Bro.
I mean, here he's projected 10th round, so it's not very high, but it's still like I think it's that wide receiver 3 tier that people always want to slot him in at.
I forgot about Cortland Sutton and why we did like him. I know why. He went to SMU. Fucking went to Brenham, Texas, apparently. Good for him, man.
Oh, wow, okay.
I don't like that his mother's name is Felicia and it's spelled PH, but that's all right. That's for another day.
But yeah, man, do you want to go into what's happening, or do you want to close out any other
bro,
final draft note thoughts?
Let's end the night on a little what's happening, man. The world is fucked up, ain't it, dog? It's just fucked up, man.
What do you got?
Nothing. I ain't got shit. It's just,
Oh.
I heard my bro texted me, told me he's about to go. He might go to Hawaii soon, so we started talking about Maui, right? And then you just got, I don't know, man. World's fucked up, It's crazy, man. What you got, man? I got
I thought I had something. What did I have in my old brain? Pull something out of here.
Man. Yeah, let me see what we had on our what's happening.
Here, pull up the data.
Nothing new there, nah. And I think we went over a lot of this stuff. I had a tab here, my pussy, my choice, right? It was under the science thing. Apparently they're making Plan B type stuff or contraceptives for kitties, I thought you only need that stuff if you're having recreational type intercourse, which I didn't know cats do, but I thought it was strictly for breeding. But that's kind of crazy, man. We're just, first it was don't test shampoo on animals, and now it's let's figure out how to put a little cooter net on them to catch.
Oh,
I don't know.
I know what's happening, and it's actually football related. You've been on a binger of shit talking on the X sphere, and you've been enraging a lot of 49er fans out there, but word is coming out that they're actively trying to shop Trey Lance around. We've heard, I think, the head coach come out and say that they have two quarterbacks. I think you actually commented on one saying if you have two quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks, that old saying. But yeah, it is never a good, even on a college level. I think I've heard it here, and yet for, I like Texas State and stuff. They're saying, yeah, we're going to rotate the quarterback at this game to kind of see production or whatever. But anytime they're talking about splitting reps on a given depth chart, it's never good. It's like you don't have that solidified. Or maybe they do, but they just really don't want to completely admit, yeah, Trey Lance is a third option, not really a non-factor, and we're trying to ship him. I mean, saying he's splitting time at QB2 sounds a lot better. What do you think?
Hey, tell you what, man. One thing that stuck to me right there is there's word now that Trey Lance is getting shopped around. Reality, right? It's been going on, right? It started when John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan got in front of people in February and March, and what were they saying? Oh, the progress has been great. Oh, Trey looks better than ever. Oh, this and that. Just to what? Slowly get that stock up. What are they going to say? Oh, that guy that we traded up, a couple first-round picks for, third overall to get out of North Dakota State, sucks balls. He is what they thought he was. They're not going to say that, right? They're going to hype him up, slowly build him. So, it's almost like the progression of, like, us as kids when we liked a girl. I don't know. Some boys, like, punch the girl or hit the girl, right? Or is that like in the cartoons?
No,
Some
yeah.
people like drop hints, right? Girls might drop hints to guys, and then eventually it gets more and more obvious, right? I think like the Niners are there now. They're like, fuck it, we trying to trade. I'm like, man, what can we get, dog? I'm like, who wants this guy?
And what kind of market is there for Trey Lance? It's like
absolutely none, bro. Absolutely none, which is why it got to this point of now there's word of a trade, because once everybody know once they know he's on the market, like, it's not like, oh shit, damn man, the Raiders really want him, well, the Raiders might give up this for him. What do you want to give up, dog? It's not like that. It's like nobody really wants this motherfucker. They already know the Niners don't want him because the Niners didn't even make him their second string quarterback. So it's like that contract's too high too, I believe. Maybe that has something to do with it.
I thought rookie contracts in general are like
right.
pretty team friendly.
$3 million then. Yeah, you're right.
You can kind of, again, bringing this back home to Houston, we talk about Davis Mills a bit, and we're talking about like, are the Texans really wanting to have three quarterbacks? Davis Mills has two, and Case Keenan there as like the veteran to kind of offer some guidance and be just the dependable QB should things go the wrong way, or is this like we intend at some point to shop Davis Mills to a team? Because Davis Mills, I don't think anyone's trading for him to be their starter. It would be to add depth to their QB room if they have a week number 2. So are we really going into the season with Davis Mills as like our solid number 2? Or because there hasn't been any rumors and that there's been slight fan theories that maybe we're throwing him out there so we can get some tape on him and then get a trade. But still like when you talk Davis Mills or Trey Lance, they seem similar guys where it's like they got maybe a little starting time. They're not really solidified starters. They're more like at this point, and then their very early career. A lot of people are ganging up on you on the whole 49er talk. Like, how can you make such a, evaluation on a guy who's just 2 or 3 years in? Maybe that's true, but you evaluate them year to year. But anyway, both guys are young dudes, but they're not going to come into any franchise and be day one starters because,
Hey, Davis already has a leg up on Trey Lance because Davis has shown he's durable. He's available, right? Availability is one of the most undervalued but understated attributes here, right? You got to be available for it. Trey Lance, he only had 5 quarters last year. He wasn't available for the rest. No, it's not fair. Yeah, I feel bad. But that's why I'm so bold, or that's what I emphasize on the old X-verse, right? It's like he had the opportunity, bro, and it's probably not gonna get enough.
Isn't that crazy how it happens? Especially like,
moves, we've seen it, right?
We've seen it so many times. I mean, that's the Tom Brady story, right? But it's because everyone in the NFL is talented. So it's like talent isn't saving you on a spot.
Stars got to align, and everything has to happen right, and you know what I mean?
Are you wearing a green shirt? Your chest is
It's tripping, huh?
Oh no, it was just probably the reflection. It was funny. You looked like the Matrix.
Yeah. But yeah, man. Apparently it was like a $20-something million contract he signed as the 3rd overall pick in 2000.
If his jersey ends up in TJ
so
Maxx, you gotta go.
Huh?
If the jersey ends up in TJ Maxx, you gotta go get a picture with it.
No, bro. I'm probably gonna buy a youth one and then like take a video up there.
I know, but I'm saying you might not have to, dude. You might not have to.
Oh, yeah.
the way this is going. But yeah, I mean, like it's nothing personal, but it's just it's unfortunate that and it is unfortunate. Like Trey Lance has people like you out there shouting such things when it's really like he got hurt and he lost his opportunity. So yes, the empathy side as a person, like you feel bad, but it is what it is. It's more so. It's fun. It's more fun to like laugh at the kind of the fans in denial that like no, he's gonna turn around. He like
it's not like you made the decision as fans.
Yeah.
Like y'all didn't jump up and shit. Like just talk shit about John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan.
I mean, there was a moment where like a lot of Texans fans were like Davis Mills is like the future. I'm ready to ride with him.
Yeah.
And then like it started like because he came out and had a couple good throws and games, and you're just like you're cheering for the hope of the new future, and then you see like it's not really going great, but he's still young, so you make excuses, and then it's like it's like we did so bad. We got number 2 draft pick, and we got CJ Stroud, and everyone's like, no, fuck Davis Mills. So it's like poor Davis Mills.
But the big difference is Davis Mills 3rd rounder, Trey Lance 3rd overall pick, man. Like, come on, coming out of it's
That's true.
At least they admitting their mistake now. I don't know, we'll see. I mean, Green Bay's going through something similar, right? Trading up to get Jordan Love instead of drafting tools for Aaron Rodgers. We're about to find out this year. Eventually everyone paid is that what it's called? Paid a piper? Or they dues up. We're about to see, how the coach did up there with his hand-picked guy.
Yeah, and I think
we're a lot better.
I think Aaron Rodgers did pretty well in his first season starting after Brett Favre exited.
For sure.
I don't think it was a pretty quick start. And that's what they're expecting with Jordan Love. So
speaking of which, you seen any Hard Knocks?
No, I haven't. Have you?
It's crazy how it fell off, man. I am hearing that this is a good one. It's kind of returned to some of its roots and players, seeing just more players loosening up, but not the scripted side, like just them goofing off, mostly talking shit about like either the Hard Knocks crew themselves or the coaches or something. But I saw the first episode. Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, I always enjoy seeing like the rookie talent shows and stuff.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that. Yeah, I've only seen the first episode, but it showed the side of Aaron Rodgers, which is cool because I've had enough of him. Like, just it was embarrassing to be a fan, man, the way he was acting and shit. But it showed his teacher side or his mentor tutoring side at least. You know how some of these veteran quarterbacks, they don't even want to teach the youngins their replacements usually that they feel like. But yeah, he's definitely like
I gotta imagine like it changes the perception changes a little bit when it's like you're on Green Bay, it's the team you've always been on, and like it's just like kind of a saltier divorce. Where it's like now he's with his side chick or he's with his new girlfriend where it's like, I'm just here having fun. And like, I'm never going to get married to the Jets. I'm just going to be here for like maybe 4 years and then I'm done. Like,
2 years, maybe 2 years, bro.
Yeah. Unless like it starts, unless it's going so well. But like at this point, he's like, all right.
A long-term fling. God damn.
Yeah. So I think that kind of helps with it too. But, yeah, man, this was a nice little recap. We have the draft. We probably won't get back on the air until the draft.
No, sir. We'll just, like you do your magic, boy. Chop and screw this up and feed people breadcrumbs.
Yeah, and I'm still working on the logistics to like get all the goodies there to do a little live casting.
Man, if you can. If not, I mean, fuck it. Let's relax.
No, we definitely can. No, we definitely can.
Yeah,
we should do like the first 3 rounds and then we'll get off.
I got like a 5-activity itinerary, man. I'm gonna share it with us next week. But one of them's the show, obviously the touch football game, then the draft.
We should try to do the draft a bit earlier because we'll do it outside before it gets really hot. I mean, we'll have the pool there and stuff, but that way we're not baking. And I've got like a little shade thing I'll set up, so it'll be nice. We'll get the whole thing going. Yeah, nice. Cool, man. Well, I appreciate it. We'll end it out with how we started the show. A little nod to my friend Bob Ross. I've been watching a lot of Bob Ross lately, dude. Puts me right to sleep.
Therapeutic.
All right. Well, we'll see you on the next episode, and we'll probably have a live taping going on. And I think we'll also break down the play from the years past of our what's becoming our annual football game. We'll have to find a way to do it this year, but it'll be good.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, you have a good one.
All right, Daddy.
Night.
Dog.